what's going on, guys? Here we roll again. Next day travel. Man, I just love it when a plan comes together. I got up this morning, Pensacola, delivered, went 5 miles down the road. Yep, 5 miles. I love it even more when you got a short deadhead. But I wrote some notes down right here because I know I can't keep up with them all off the fly. But let me tell you what I booked. I'm coming out of Pensacola going to Cincy for $1,000. I know. That's not great money, man. That's comes up to like $1.45 a mile or some change. But I've deemed it, I've said it before and I'll say it again. In this scenario, $1.45 a mile makes you more money and more profitable rolling today than $2 a mile waiting until tomorrow. But with that being said, let me tell you about the analogy or the thought process. Let's tell you about the thought process that went behind booking this load. Now, I'm looking at in the Pensacola area yesterday. I booked this load yesterday. I'm looking in the area and I see 2 loads that piqued my interest. One's going to Cincinnati. The other is going to Chicago. The one going to Cincinnati is $1,000. The one going to Chicago is $1,300. It's $300 more dollars. And as I said yesterday, my most important load is not the load I'm booking ahead, it's the load I'm booking to set myself up for when I get to that destination. So the next load ahead, it's like, you know, that's my target point. So first thing I did in Cincy Market, I looked for a load that's going to carry me through the weekend. So more than likely it's going to be a Florida load, and I don't want to go south of Orlando, Tampa area. That's just my preference. It's not that big of a deadhead to come back up, hit Georgia, grab a load, keep going. So my target load, unless something else pops, is Orlando, Lakeland, Tampa area. From Cincy going to Orlando, the rate on that, the average 15 is $2,500. Chicago market going down to Orlando, the average 15-day rate is $3,000, so it's $500 less. So the average guy is going to say, well, I'm going to take that load. It pays more money. But, thought process. This is what makes you more money, more profit. You got to look at all the variables going into this load. Now, right off the bat, I know going to Cincy is less mileage, and I know going to Cincy to Orlando is less mileage. So I run that quick figure, the mileage from Pensacola to Cincinnati, and Cincinnati down to Orlando. I didn't write down that total mileage, but I got the mileage here. And then I looked at the mileage going from Pensacola to Chicago, and then Chicago down to Orlando. Again, I don't have the total mileage, but I got the mileage. Point A to point B on both turns. And I compared that to the revenue differences of what I was going to make. And that allows me to know, does it make sense? Does it make sense? Here's what I come up with. Write this down, keep up with me here. Pensacola to Chicago, 915 miles. Pensacola to Cincinnati, 690 miles. That's a 225-mile difference for $300 difference. Okay? $300 for 225 miles. Now, Chicago to Orlando is 1,156 miles. Cincinnati to Orlando is 897 miles. And that's a $259 difference on the difference of $500 revenue. Now, with that being said, 225 miles, the difference between Cincy and Chicago is 225 miles. The difference between Chicago and Orlando and Cincy and Orlando is 300 miles. No, that's right. It's 259 miles. Now, what I'm looking at is the 15-day average from Cincy going down to Orlando. The 15-day is 2,500. The high end is 27. So I'll put a bid on the load for 27. Don't say nothing, but I will take it for 25. I'm gonna wait until tomorrow and call them back and change my offer if they don't accept it until then. Maybe they won't fill it by then. If they do, then there's other loads on the board. But that comes up to if I do, let's say I don't get it for $2,700, like only get the load for the average 15-day rate of $2,500. Okay, that's $500 difference plus $300 difference. So $800 difference on 600 miles. So is it worth the running the extra 600 miles to make $800? No, it don't make sense. Also, the load going to Chicago was 44,000, which was probably would have been 43 and some change. The load going to Cincy that I've got on the hook now is 22,000. So that makes sense. And also the load going to Chicago was going to, what was that going to? It's going to a big DC. So strict appointments, long wait times, yada, 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 you know the drill. The load that's going to Cincy is going to a small mom and pop that also has overnight parking. And yeah, it just makes sense. So that's the thought process going into my thought process in this this load book in here. So I'm coming out of Cincy for $1,000 at $1.44, and from that point on, I'm looking for Orlando. Now, if another load pops and I can do the same amount of revenue for about the same mileage, I'm going to take that one. Or I'm going to be here. I'm going to be there tomorrow. If I can get offloaded tomorrow in time, I'll be there in the morning. Offloaded in time to book a short hop, say Cincinnati to Indianapolis, or Cincinnati to Detroit, or Cleveland, or Chicago. Either way, I can next day that one for another $800, which will put me in another market that's pretty strong for Florida loads. Another thing was I looked at the Chicago market going to Orlando and the Cincinnati market going to Orlando. Yesterday when I was looking, both places, well, one had 15 available loads in a 50-mile radius. One had 15 loads and Cincy had 16 loads. So actually Cincy had more Orlando freight than Chicago. So, makes sense, right? But even if I don't book another load in between, say I go up here to Cincy, I grab a load and go down to Orlando. I left last Sunday. All right, last Sunday. This Sunday. When I get to Cincinnati tonight, I'm gonna be at 4,000 in revenue, and that'll be Thursday morning. So Thursday, by Saturday, I'll be at 6,500 revenue, waiting to unload Monday morning. So without killing myself, $6,500 in revenue. Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense. Now, another possibility, another scenario here. If I get to Cincy and I see a load pop tomorrow that is just going to Indianapolis, somewhere short, you know, pick me up an extra $600-700 in revenue. Then this week here will be a 7,000 week revenue without busting my butt, without running myself to death, and without easy money, man, easy money. Because I hadn't put down too many miles this week. I've had easy open deliveries, open drops, fast unloads, fast loads. It's coming together pretty good, pretty nice. So anyways, guys, y'all say a little prayer for me that I come into a good load, which I guess by the time you watch this, I've already done something. So I guess I'll update you tomorrow, possibly the next day, on the next move and let you know what I do this week, and show you that trucking 2019 is not bad. There's a lot of doom and gloom out there, but the most valuable lesson I can say in trucking right now is when times are tough, you got to get tough with the times. And being tough with the times, the number one asset you're going to have is scheduling. Scheduling. You've got to be able to eliminate the time between loads. You got to drop off a load at 9 o'clock in the, for example, you drop off a load at 9 o'clock in the morning. You want to be able to have another load on your truck and moving in the shortest amount of time possible, whether it's 30 minutes, an hour, or 2 hours. The point is, drop, hook, next day transit, and then at the weekend, you find a long hop. Something two-day transit or 3-day transit. That's where you're going to make the most money in this market. It's all about scheduling, and just remember, when the times are tough, you got to get tough with the times. And that's just smart trucking. Smart trucking 101. But anyways, guys, that's what transpired on this load here. I'm not going to keep you too long. I'm just going to give you some little nuts and bolts of what's going on, how I schedule my loads, and help you guys schedule your loads a little better if you need that help in that arena. It's just what I do. I'm not a know-it-all. I'm just staying rolling, guys. But anyway, don't make sense, don't make dollars, right? We'll catch you in the next video. See you, bye.